back to Leah's Natural Minute. So I told you guys in the last video that I was going to tell you some of my favorite remedies for cold and flu season. And so now I'm going to go ahead and tell you. I'm super excited because the remedies I'm going to tell you guys about are herbal remedies, are herbal teas, and herbal teas are some of my most favorite things. So I'm going to tell you about 3 herbal teas that you might want to think about taking instead of taking that over-the-counter medicine. So I'm going to go ahead and read from my notes just to make sure that I give you guys all the information. But the 3 herbs that we're going to talk about are Echinacea, elderflower, and Pau de Arco, or Pau de Arco. So just that when you're looking for it, you can find it. So first, let's talk about Echinacea. That's the one that you guys probably have heard of. Echinacea is a plant. The part of the plant that's used is the actual root of the plant. And it's amazing. It is amazing. And there are studies that even show this, that prove this, that you can use Echinacea, particularly at the onset, like within the first day of a cold. You can use Echinacea to pretty much knock out that cold, to keep that cold from taking hold. So the easiest form of Echinacea to take, the most effective, is taking Echinacea as a tincture. So now a tincture is an alcoholic extract of the active ingredient of the herb. And so you can find tinctures in any health food store, and tinctures, you usually take about a dropper full of the tincture in about probably like a cup of water, and you take that 3 times a day or so. And especially if you take it, again, if you take it like that first day when you start to feel yourself kind of coming on with the cold or the flu, it will drastically make a huge difference in if you actually get that cold, or if your body is able to kind of take hold of its defense mechanisms and keep yourself from getting that cold. And to really quickly talk about what Echinacea is actually doing to help that cold, Echinacea, it stimulates your white blood cells. So it actually gets your white blood cells going in an even larger quantity. It stimulates the production of the white blood cells so that those white blood cells can go out and then attack the virus and kill the virus. So something like Echinacea is good to use when you're having a cold because it actually helps your body to defend itself, as opposed to using an over-the-counter medicine that actually just stops your body from employing its defense mechanisms. So that's Echinacea. Now the second herb that we're going to talk about is elderflower. Now elderflower it's another herb, and it's actually part of the elderberry tree. And the part of the elderberry tree, or the elder tree, that's used for particularly for colds and flus are the flowers. And let me tell you a little bit about the properties of the flowers. They're antiviral. They are anti-cathartic, which that means it decreases inflammation in your mucous membranes, and they are generally anti-inflammatory. And they've been used for years, anecdotally, particularly to help people with colds and flus, for other reasons as well. But there's been lots of anecdotal data that shows that they actually help to kill the virus, as well as eliminate immune system waste from the body after the virus has been killed. Elderflower can actually be taken as a tea. That's one of the most effective ways to take elderflower. You take it as a tea about 3 times a day, and generally 2 to 4 grams per 8 ounce. So I usually like to take like a handful of tea, loose elderflowers, and put that in one of the tea strainers, and then let that steep for about 10 to 15 minutes. And whenever you're steeping teas, particularly for medicinal properties or for therapeutic properties, you want to steep that with something capped over it. So I let that steep for at least 10 to 15 minutes, and then drink that, and do that 3 times a day. And again, especially if you catch it at the beginning of that cold or that flu, you will see that you will not have the week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks down. You'll only be down maybe a few days. So that's elderflower. The very last herb that we're going to talk about is one of my favorites. It's Pau de Arco. And Pau de Arco, it's also known as lapacho or tahibo, and it's a tree that's found in South and Central America. And what's the part that's used medicinally is the inner bark of the tree. So when you see this herb in loose form, it actually looks like little pieces of tree bark. And this is a very, very, very potent antiviral medicine, or antiviral natural medicine. It has very strong immune stimulating capabilities, and that's actually what I use. Party Arco is what I use when I feel a cold coming on. And again, I like to use about a handful, which is about like 2 to 4 grams. Again, a handful amount, and 8 ounces of water. I let that steep for this one because it's the bark, so it needs a little bit longer to steep. I like to let it steep for at least 15 to 20 minutes with something over it, and then drink that at least 3 times a day. So these are just 3 of the herbs that are useful for colds and flus, that have these very, very, very potent, very, very, very powerful antiviral, anti-inflammatory properties. And I just encourage you all to just try these. Now, of course, if you have a medical condition, you're under a doctor's care, you want to run these by your doctor, run these by your primary health care person, just to make sure that it's going to work, that they know what's going on, and it's not going to counter anything that you're taking from them already, and that it's going to work with what you've got going already. But in general, I would say at least give it a try. Try it out. If it doesn't work for you, you can always go back to the over-the-counter medicine and take that. In the last video, I talked about some of the reasons why you might not want to do that. But again, it's all about you and your optimal health. So again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back with another video real soon.